goodness. Well, great evening, everyone. This is Coach Chi. I am so excited to come to you tonight for another episode of She Speaks TV, live with Chinaza Dusan. My goodness. I know you guys tuned in last week, and of course, we had a totally epic moment. But this week, we're going to get down and down. You'll catch up with me in a moment. But tonight, I have the pleasure of bringing to the world, and some of you know her, some of you love her, but I've been behind the scenes with her for probably another 7 years. And I will tell you that Jasmine Jackson Beauty, honey, she has gone from the bonnet to the bundle to the beauty to the bubbles. And we are building a $1 billion brand with this girl. You talk about someone who knows how to revolutionize culture, who knows how to take a down moment and make it an up moment. Well, tonight, I hope you have your pen and your paper so that you can take copious notes because you want to learn from a G. I call her a G. She hails all the way from Ohio, but she is now a Georgia peach. So tonight, I need you to get in with me for my guest, none other than Miss Jasmine Bonafide Beauty.
Yeah.
Jackson. But before we do that, I need you all to see these shoes, honey. The shoe ministry is everything, honey. Let them feel it. Let them feel it.
You lie.
I love.
How cool is that?
Ta-ta-ta-ta.
Right.
Yeah.
Cute. I love the shoes you got on too. Them shoes killing.
Girl, but you're wearing it. You got the queen. You got the royalty.
Yes.
And I know this past weekend, you launched an amazing product line. But before we get into the goods, because there's some goods that they're going to need to get your credit cards as well. But there's some goods that they're going to need to get. I want people to know Jasmine, raw and uncut, the old Jasmine.
Okay.
I need to understand where you came from.
Okay.
So let's talk to us about who Jasmine is.
Okay.
Jazz, your journey. Let's talk about coming to Atlanta. How did that all come about?
Well, first I want to say thank you so much for bringing me on your show. I'm so excited to be here. And just to see where She Speaks has come from to where it's at now, I'm like uber proud of you. And I'm very excited to be attached to this moment. And I know that your success is about to just go through the roof for real. Like from your conferences to just everything She Speaks. But I'm in this moment right here with you and I love it. And I just want to say congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you for being in the moment.
Yes.
Because God knows when I needed sisters, you came. He dropped you in my lap. It started with a bundle.
Okay.
Of blonde.
It really did.
Honey, by the way, get this. The bundle, the blonde, the cut. This was just long.
Okay.
We
have transformed it so many times.
We have flipped this, honey. She is 5 years young. We thank God.
Okay. And then they last.
Jasmine Jackson from Ohio. How in God's green earth did you get to the A?
Okay, so I got to the A by way of a ride. And literally, I got here just by way of a ride. And it's so crazy because I grew up, well, first of all, like you said, I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio, and I was raised in the church. So I literally used to go to church 9 days a week. So I was raised with a strong 9. So I was raised with a really strong spiritual background. So I was always raised on faith. I was always raised on belief. I was also raised on, turn around 3 times and a miracle is going to happen. But, when you grow up young in that and you turn around 3 times and nothing's happening, it kind of messes with your head. Like, are these people, what does this really mean? You don't really get the concept. So fast forward, I was always grounded in that just from my upbringing. And I was able to go to college. I went to college in Ohio. I went to a black college. I went to a small HBCU there. And it was there that, I was kind of sheltered growing up. But when I got there, you go from having a time that you have to be in the house and having a curfew and living under your parents' rules to you go to college and there are no rules. You create the rules. So if you want to stay out all night, you can. If you want to party, if you want to, whatever you want to do, you got liberty to do that. You just got to know that it comes with consequences. So, that early part of my life, it took a turn for the worse because I was dating this guy on campus and he asked me to go out of town with him. And he asked me to ride with him to Arizona. So my green mind back then, he told me that the trip was 15 hours. I'm like, oh my goodness, it's going to be a long ride, but I want to go. Nobody ever asked me to go nowhere. I'm going. I had girls on my floor hyping me up go. We used to set goals early, okay, we're going to go somewhere once a month, somewhere big or small. You got to travel. So in my mind, that was my travel. So he told me the trip was 15 hours. The trip ended up being 30 hours. Went to Arizona. He was in a whole nother arena of stuff that I didn't even know about. This dude was heavily selling drugs, took me with him. I mean, you talking about all these machetes and these Mexicans and these big old fish scales, and he's buying all of these drugs. I'm like, what have I got myself into? So we end up heading back to Ohio, getting pulled over. The police came. They suspected something suspicious. The dogs came and scratched the car. They unrolled all of these big duffels with all of these big comforters and all of this stuff. And there was all of these drugs in the car with us. So I got arrested. I got taken to jail. And my family had to get the money up to get me out. So I went from Arizona. When I finally got out, went back to Ohio, rode the Greyhound home for 3 days. Wow. With just the clothes on my back. I was just asking strangers to use their phone because my phone, they took my phone. So I didn't have a phone. So I just, excuse me, hey, how you doing? Can I just use your phone? I got to call my friends. For 3 days straight, I'm on this Greyhound, stopping in different places to get home. Wow. So when I finally, so I had to do court over the phone because I obviously was too far and I didn't even have the money to travel back and forth to Arizona. Mm-hmm. So finally, I had to get sentenced, but I didn't want to get sentenced. So in my mind, young, I'm like, if I don't go, this just won't be real. I just don't have to deal with it. In my head, you can't tell me nothing different. I got faith. Turn around 3 times, right? I believe. Yes. So I missed my court date for my sentencing, and I would never forget this day. I was parked and the police came and knocked on the door, and they had told me Arizona had just put a warrant out for me, like literally maybe 20 minutes before they ran my tag. They was literally riding through the parking lot, randomly running people's tags, ran my tag, saw I had a warrant, and I got arrested. And it took them 60 days to get me back to Arizona. Wow. You know, when you're extradited.
Yes.
I thought you just get in the car with police officers and y'all just drive. I'm like, okay, this is going to be a long 30-hour ride. Let's go. No, it took them 60 days to get me back to Arizona from Ohio.
So you sat in jail for 60 days?
No, I sat in about 12 different jails over 60 days. Wow. So they would stop me in Kentucky, then they would stop me in Tennessee for 8 days, then they would stop me in Texarkana, Arkansas for 17 days. Wow. Then they would stop me in New Mexico for 14 days. Then they would stop me in this jail for 3 days. Then they kept forgetting about me, and I kept having to... I remember in this one jail I was in, and their food was so good in Texarkana, Arkansas. It was crazy. Like the food, because I had to spend Thanksgiving in the jail at that time. I would never forget that. But the food was so good, and it wasn't even that bad. Ain't that bad?
The food in the jail in Arkansas was good.
If you ever got to stop and visit in Texarkana, the food was great. They had real live cooks.
Jaywalk. Great 3-star course.
Yeah. They call it the Motel 6 because they tell you they'll leave the light on for you. A mess. So I remember at that particular jail, I had to play crazy. Like I was like banging my head against the door. I was like sticking my finger behind my throat, making myself throw up because they kept forgetting about me. And I'm like, what is wrong? When are y'all going to get me where I'm supposed to go? So I had to play crazy and do all of that to get them to come back and get me. And finally, I got to Arizona. The judge was just like, you've been through enough. Like, we just gonna have to wrap this up. So I ended up leaving there with a felony, and that stuck with me, and that was on my record. So I really thought my life was over. Like, everybody was in my ear, like, oh my God, you have a felony? But young like that, never been in trouble. In my mind, it was so exaggerated, like, I have a felony. Yes. Like, I felt like everybody seen it when I walked in the room. Like, I'm at Walmart, hey, no, I have a felony, get away from me. Like, in my head, like, dang, I got a felony, this is huge. I can't really talk because I got a felony. Right. That's how I felt. Right. So that haunted me for a long time. And I was in like a very dark place behind that for years. Like I just didn't think I could thrive. So that's kind of like, am I?
No, you good? No,
okay.
Good.
So that was like a real dark time in my life. So fast forward, I was able to go back to college. I graduated, thank God. And then I moved back to my hometown in Ohio. So I opened up a really cute little office. I painted it pink. I had my logo on the wall, my computer desk, my computer, all my products. I've always been into products and sales since young. I started my first business when I was 9. I knew how to take $10 and make it 20, always. So I had my cute little office in Cincinnati, and one day something just hit, and I'm like, I got to get out of here. Like, it's something bigger for me, and this is just not it. And, you know, if you come from a small town, like, you know, anywhere from the Midwest or just anywhere, you realize it's the same people, it's the same restaurants, it's the same, you know, crab in a barrel mentality where it's like you're trying to thrive, but you're such a forward thinker. People around you are just not catching on. It's like, I got to get out of here. So I will never forget this day. I was sitting in my pink office, and my brother already wanted to come to Atlanta for his birthday. He had never been to Atlanta before. He rented a big old Ram 1500 truck. And he was like, Jazz, I'm going to the A for my birthday. I'm like, okay. My old roommate from college was already living down there. I remember I had a client come to the office. I did her. I had some other stuff I did. I just remember packing up a bag, and I had $40 to my name. Whatever I did with her hair, I charged her $40. I just remember I had two 20s, $40. And I end up getting in the car with him, and I'm like, I'm never going back. And I moved down here, and she had a blow-up bed at her spot. She was like, you can sleep on this. And I remember the blow-up bed had a hole in it. So I used to have to wake up in the middle of the night and blow the bed back up because I kept sinking down and I would end up on the floor. Like, I would go to bed knowing, like, my sleep had to get broke because I'm going to end up on the floor. And I would have to blow it up. Mm-hmm. And that was just like the start of me coming here. And I used to cry a lot. I prayed a lot. And I'm like, whatever happens, I'm not going home. Like, I'm going to make it in this big city. Like, I'm going to be somebody. So,
that's where we started. So I need to point out a few things in case you missed it. She got in trouble, right? And this. I want someone to walk away knowing that it's okay.
It's okay.
Because there's no perfect person out here, right? I had a felony. And I know how you feel because when you go to do anything, you feel like somebody's like, run that background check. Oh, my God, she is. And the word felon, it's so pigeoning. Mm-hmm. It puts us in a box. Yep. And people tend to look at you a little bit different because they think about, God, well, what does she do?
Exactly.
I'm this good forming citizen, and how dare we don't commune with felons. Mm-hmm. Well, welcome to my world welcome to our world because real things happen to real people. So I need you to understand that it's okay, no matter what labels or whatever has happened to you, because life does happen to all of us.
It does.
But you said something pivotal. You said that you made up in your mind that you were leaving from a small town. The thinking of it, some of us are surrounded by crabs every day trying to pull us down.
Oh, my goodness.
And they, oh, girl, who she thinks she is. She done left Ohio. Oh, she gone to the A. You got $40 in your pocket. You had the faith of turning around 3 times.
I sure did.
Because you were raised in the church.
Uh-huh.
I know mama. So you was raised in the church, speaking in tongues, know how to pray yourself through something. But what did you do when you got down here that shifted? Because I know that $40 mattress inflating, hitting that floor, been there, done that.
Okay.
I know you got tired of that.
I did.
When did you shift?
You just said something very key. Okay, so I was raised in the church with the turnaround 3 times. Turn to your neighbor and say, I'm coming out. I'm coming out. Turn to your neighbor and say, this is my year. This is my year. Man. And then you try to figure out what is it that you're supposed to do to make this thing happen.
Right.
So honestly, when I moved to Atlanta, I kind of had like a lot of smacks in my forehead with reality checks because I started seeing the work ethic of the people who live the lifestyles that I wanted to live. Mm-hmm. See, when I was raised in the church, it was a lot of broke Christians who could pray you through and speak in tongues and speak all this life, but they were broke. Mm-hmm. I knew a lot of broke pastors, a lot of just broke people, broke and broken. Mm-hmm. Like they didn't talk about therapy and healing in the church. It's like, God gonna deliver you, and he can and he will and he is. Mm-hmm. But there are also people set in place that he used on this earth to help. Do you want to go see a therapist? Do you need to go see a psychiatrist?
Can we pause there for a moment?
Absolutely.
My people. There is a stigma with therapy. I'm 44 years, glorious young, honey. Mine's 20. But I just started getting into therapy. Because for so long in the Black family, if I'm just going to call it out, in the Black family, we think that going to talk to therapists, there's something wrong.
We sure do.
We're telling somebody our business. And you know what happens in our house stays in our house.
No, get it out the house. Everybody in there crazy.
Because some of us, so many secrets will eat you alive. So understand something if I can. You can't get to the next place until you heal the very thing that broke you. Otherwise, you could have went from Ohio to Atlanta, understanding you still got to deal with you.
You take you everywhere you go.
Everywhere you go.
My mom taught me that.
Ain't nothing wrong with talking to somebody. 1-800-GET-HELP. It's so okay.
Is that a real? That is a.
I made it up.
All right. Yeah. Well, that would have been real good for people to be able to go to that. Yeah. That was cute. Okay. Because that was a good plug. Like, dang, is that real?
It might be.
Okay.
I'll Google afterwards. But you talk about therapy. You talk about brokenness.
Yeah, so, just growing up with the turn around 3 times, turn to your neighbor.
Programming.
So programming, exactly. So when I got here and I saw all of these people and their work ethic and the way they were working to live the lifestyle that they wanted to live, the scripture came to me that was so simple. It was almost too simple that I kept missing it. Mm-hmm. Like, I just can't believe it's just this simple. Faith without works is dead. I was around a lot of faith with no work ethic. And works without faith is dead. Because if you try to outwork your faith, you're going to be on a hamster wheel. Because I've also seen people work really hard and still have no turnover. So you have to marry the two. Like faith without works is dead. Works without faith is dead. The simplicity of it, it's everything so simple, it just go right over our head. So when I started marrying a work ethic with my level of faith, that's when everything in my life really started to blow up and change. And I'm not even
oh no, I've seen it.
What's the word I'm trying to use? I'm not even exaggerating. Yeah, I'm not even exaggerating. But I just seen so many people who could prophesy and preach and teach and speak life, and then they couldn't pay their bills. Or they were not, they just didn't have the confidence because of their finances. And then I met a whole lot of people who had a lot of money and a lot of status and a lot of influence, and they were hollow on the inside, and they lacked faith. They had no relationship with God. So they were still, it's a broken people, rich or poor.
So the scripture that says, what good is a man to gain his soul and lose?
What good is a man to gain the whole wide world and lose his soul?
Empty. Hollow. That's why you see so many people who get all this money, you get all the clout, you get all the fame, but they got addictions. They got habits. They got things that are pacifying them.
And you get to a level, especially in the city we live in, because you're going to run into these people. Atlanta is not that big, especially if you're talented and you're putting in work. You're going to just level up and start being around those people. And you meet them in person, and you be like, ain't you?
Ain't you? You?
Ain't you? Yes. Seriously.
Real
like, But, it's just everybody has something to work on. And that really taught me how to stop judging. Sorry, did I mess something up? That really taught me how to stop judging. It taught me how to stop putting people on a pedestal. Because you would be looking at people like they got it all together. And then you'll get your head busted when you realize that, girl, they're still human.
So let's talk about that, because you got here. You went through you began to embrace your process. You began to get out. You met a woman. And you began to do hair for celebrities, because I need them to get this journey.
Okay.
Because you began to do hair for celebrities. Let's talk about that journey, because that was a part of the process. See, what I want you all to understand is every single one of us, no matter what your dream is, no matter how big or small, there's a process. And you have to embrace it. So that's why I asked Jasmine, I need you to tell it raw.
Yeah.
Because some people be like, oh, well, she's just fine. People just open doors and it's just glorious.
Baby, I ain't just get fine overnight.
Honey, we worked here. This is process. Yeah, she did. She was born like that. She woke up like that.
Okay.
Beyonce. But you did wake up like that.
Yeah.
But you met a woman. Because I believe that, from what I know of you, that was starting the turning point when you made that connection. Let's talk about that connection.
Okay. So when I moved to Atlanta, I went to hair school. I went to Aveda. Ooh. Like the Ivy League of beauty schools. So I went to Aveda, and when I graduated, that year was hard because it was a struggle. I didn't really have a car in hair school. I lived on the south side going to Buckhead. It took me 2 hours to get to school every day. It was just a mess. I had to go from the bus to the train. It was just a lot. Oh, I'm just bringing back memories. Oh, Lord.
It's that process.
Thank
God you don't look like what you've been through.
Okay.
Yes.
So went to Aveda. I graduated. And right when I graduated, I was aligning myself with the people that I was calling all of this stuff forth before I even got to Atlanta. So I've been blessed to be put around, certain people that help go to the next level. So so at that time is when I moved in with Auntie, and she was a part of network marketing. And I always seen people with the network marketing stuff. Like, you can have this boat, you can have this Bentley. People in my city wasn't winning in network marketing like that. I didn't see the big wins till I got to Atlanta, but people who had traction with it. So in that, we met another person who was a part of the company, and she liked the way I did hair. She said, you know what? I'm going to introduce you to somebody who I want you to work with. So when she told me who the person was, I'm like, oh my goodness, I've been following her. Like, I've been trying to get a connection with her. I was wanting to, work up under this person. So she said, color me some hair. And then I'm going to let her put it in, but I want her to see how well you know how to color. So when I tell you, Auntie will tell you to this day, I colored that hair like a science project. I don't even think I've colored hair that good since that day. Like, I had all her bundles laid out. It took me hours to do that. Soon as we walked in the girl's studio, the first thing she said was, who colored that hair? Like, I didn't even say, hi, how you doing? Nothing. So she told her, she said, she just graduated, She said, oh, you need to work somewhere? Her assistant was just going on maternity leave. She was pregnant. So I literally, the same day that she saw my color job, she told me I could start like the next day. Like, literally, my life changed overnight. Wow. The first day that I started, she, we set everything up, had a meeting with her manager. She's like, okay, you're going to be working with me. The first day on the job, she took me to Candy's house. And I called my mama like, you ain't gonna believe this. Like, guess where I'm going? And it was just kind of up from there because we were doing like Married to Medicine and Housewives of Atlanta. And all of that was like the start of me getting into production and doing stuff with networks and just doing hair on that level. Like it happened overnight, but it really didn't happen overnight.
No, what happened, if I can describe it, is this is what happens when planning and preparation meet. And then you're put into a position to prosper.
Yep.
I felt my Jesse Jackson.
Okay, say that one more time. That was really good.
This is what happens when preparation and planning meet, and then you get locked into a position to prosper. See, some people can never walk in the doors of opportunity because they're not ready. They didn't get in position. They didn't do the work. You went to school. You sacrificed time. You put your vision first.
I did.
And you were uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. Okay, guys, so now we got an air mattress with no air. We got buses. And if you are from Atlanta or been around Atlanta, you do understand you need a car to be in this city because ain't nothing close. South side, east side, west side, north side, and then all the way out in BFE. We'll talk about that later. But again, you were ready.
Yeah, from the bus to the train. No, yeah, the bus to the train station.
To the train station.
Yeah.
And then with the right moment, imagine if you couldn't color hair. The door would have never been open.
It would not have been open.
See, what I need you to understand is that every appointment you have with Destiny is designed. It's strategic. Mm-hmm. It's right on time. So now you done did the stars' hair. Mm-hmm. You done did the celebrities' hair. Mm-hmm. Where did this vision come up? And I'm fast forwarding through your life because now you doing hair. Like just a few weeks ago, you was with Mulatto, right?
Oh, yeah.
You was doing, I mean, all these doors have piggybacked on to the journey as you gave birth this past weekend to a product. But I can't let her talk about the product yet because I need you to understand. Did you have some setbacks?
Did I have some setbacks?
I was just checking. I mean, I wanted to make sure you was normal. Did you have some setbacks?
I had a lot of setbacks. And you know what? Even getting these kind of jobs is very important for people to know. Something that me and you've been actually talking about a lot. Something is the new currency.
Collaboration.
Yeah, collaboration.
Yes.
You ever since you said that, it's been sticking with me. But collaboration is the new currency. So a lot of the doors that you walk through, you really get them off of collaboration and just being in the right place at the right time with the right people. Like a lot of stuff that people will try to fight to get, they have to understand the power in relationships.
Yes.
You know, and our mutual friend, hey, I need you this day on set. Can you come? Yes. This is who it is. Sure. Let me block out my schedule. That's the power in relationships. Because
and community.
Yeah, community.
We, if I can say it again, my people.
Okay.
We have to come together more often. Mm-hmm. I think that crab in the bucket syndrome, you know me, I believe in boiling crabs and letting them drown at the end of the day.
Can we crack them and get some butter? Okay,
I feel the juicy moment coming on.
Very juicy crabbish.
But again, collaboration is a new currency. Mm-hmm. And you have to understand, get around some people that you can do some business with.
Yeah.
Because you know the old saying, if you surround yourself with 4 broke people, you will be the 5th. But if you surround yourself with 5 people who are determined to go somewhere and they are actually in motion, honey, you have no choice but to get like this. Okay. Pulled in motion. Mm-hmm. I have no choice but to take you with me. But what I'm not taking is a broke person who's broken mentality. I don't care if you ain't got no coins in your pocket because we can go get some money.
Yeah, that's the easiest thing to get.
But you got to have what you talked about earlier, the work ethic. The faith without works, aka what work ethic. Can't be lazy. If you want something bad enough, laziness is not a part of the potion. You can't be lazy no way, no how. Mm-mm. So you had work ethic. You were determined.
Yep.
You got uncomfortable. Then you had a collaboration. You showed up for yourself. Mm-hmm. You know, put the oxygen mask on first.
Yeah, secure your own mask.
You secured your mask. Mm-hmm. So you secured your mask. And then what?
And then amazing things started to happen. Mm-hmm. And I got to backtrack for 2 seconds because I don't know why I feel really led to say this.
Say it.
But because this is a big part of people are trying to watch this and they want to grow and they want to get it. Mm-hmm. I feel very compelled to share it with everybody. Don't let your character take you. Don't let your talent take you where your character can't keep you.
I need you to say that again because there was some people on Instagram who just logged on and didn't hear that.
Yeah.
Say it again.
Don't let your talent take you where your character can't keep you. Because there are a lot of people in this game who get afforded some amazing opportunities. And this is funny. I seen this on Instagram and they're like, you calling yourself a celebrity stylist because you did Kiki White hair 9 years ago. Like, humble yourself, sis. But, you know, when you get those opportunities, you have to be humble or you're not going to get booked again. You're not going to be able to stay in the game if you think that because you hit one celebrity that you just doing it big or you got around a couple of social circles. Do not let your talent take you where your character can't keep you. Because I know some talented people who are really broke and miserable and can't get their foot in the door because they're just too cocky, or their head get too big too fast, or they over talk everybody, or they put themselves in a room where it's like, ooh, your energy is too much. You got to know when to hold them and when to fold them. Like, chill out. So I think that character I cannot stress enough how important it is to have character in this thing. And when you're trying to be in the fast lane, in the beauty world or public speaking, anything that you're trying to do, you got to have humility, but you got to know your worth. It's like such a fine line, but it all goes back to your character. Like I've had opportunities where I've been in places where they'll pull me to the side and say, your friend that you brought, don't ever bring them again. Where I'm embarrassed, and I could have, like, your name is on the line, not theirs. Why would you bring them? You know, I got a lot of those type of cut-ups and backlash early in my career, thinking, my friend could come, I want you to come too. Like this person who here I'm doing, we shooting this commercial, come on. Nah. You can't do that.
Something was said to me earlier that I think is so profound in this moment. You have to be careful of who you invite to the table. And the reason why you have to be careful because everybody can't go.
Everybody can't go.
Everybody can't go. And I know you want to help your sister friend. You want to say, you know what, this opportunity is for us. And it's what I've learned in business. It's okay to be selfish. It's okay to say, sweetie, you know what, that doesn't mean I don't love you any less as a person, but everybody can't have a seat at the table because some things God needs to do for you and you alone.
Yeah, you trying to put everybody in on it, like, chill out.
It's okay because that's nature. With us, it's a natural thing to give. But I can't, if I'm building and you're building, it's not fair to your build if I try to drag you to a place that takes you off focus.
Exactly.
From where it is that you're going.
Exactly.
So understand that everybody has a walk on this journey, and some people got to walk it there. But let's talk about character really quickly, because character means integrity. If you can't do it, it's okay. You can't do it. That is not your moment. You don't have to lie, post to pretend who you're not supposed to be. As your auntie would say, you find your lane, stay in your lane, and burn rubber. You have to bring your most authentic self to the table. I learned a long time ago. There was a point in my journey, in my career, where people say, where you're from, and I was like, oh, I'm from, my mother's a doctor, my father's so-and-so.
Really?
I was embarrassed.
Oh, my goodness.
I didn't want to tell you that my mother was really on drugs and that she abandoned me in that Heron house. I didn't want to tell you that because I had a look about me. And there was no way I could
let people know that I was a crack baby.
No, I come from wealth. I come from good things, honey. What you saw was a silver spoon, where really it was a plastic spoon that melted in the microwave.
Wow.
So again, it's okay to bring yourself to the table because in the long run, who Jasmine Jackson is, the people have come to love.
Yeah.
And trust me, I know you gonna give it to me straight and uncut. If you can't do it, you can't do it. If you can't do it, you will do it. So character involves integrity. Yeah. It involves showing up on time. It involves, and I say it's showing up on time. It involves showing up for your own self. Yeah. Because people are going to treat you with self-respect. You teach people how to treat you.
You sure do.
In business, you teach people your worth. Yep. Right? So we always say, you said know your worth and then add some tax. Yep. Because it is. I see people out here. I met a person the other day and I asked their price for what they did and they were like, oh, $1,500. And I'm a scoff. I was like, wait, what, huh? But she was worth it. And who am I to tell her that her price isn't worth it? Honey, I'm just not your client. Yeah. So I know you've had to say that to some people. I'm not your person. And so how do you deal with people on the journey? Because you talked about collaboration. How do you deal with people who don't value who Jasmine Jackson is?
You know, it's so crazy. Like, energy is such a big thing. When people don't even align with your energy or your mission, they kind of like dismiss themselves. Like, maybe early on in my career, I was fiddling with that. I don't even, in the most humblest way, I don't even deal with that type of stuff. Like, kind of, because our business is kind of like referral based. Yes. So it's like you hang with good people and you bring good people to the table and vice versa. It's kind of like a table of goodness. Now, if something doesn't match, I would say, now, Chi, where you meet her again? Yeah. Oh, it wasn't right. You know what I'm saying? Yes. And that's like, how often does that even happen, though? You know what I'm saying? Right. So I just think that people weed themselves out when they know that they're not on your level or they don't bring that kind of energy, or I might not even be on their level, or it's not like one is greater than the other. Right. You just know, like, it wasn't a good fit, you know?
And there's, as you just said, there's levels to this thing. Yeah. And everybody has to find their place. Yeah. You know, I love that he prepares the table in the midst of, but understand who's sitting at the table and bring more to the table than a knife and a fork, honey.
Yep.
You need to boss up.
Bring the appetizer, bring a main dish, bring the meat.
So let's talk about the fact that, yes, you brought the meat to the table. So now you done did the beauty, the bonnet, the bundles. You started your diet on Monday.
Yeah.
You did all these amazing things. And I've been watching and stalking and moving. And I've been flowing.
Yes.
And I know that you're a perfectionist when it comes to your work. You take your work very seriously.
I do.
So let's talk about the fact that you've mastered the art of collaboration. The shifting, because you became a certified coach. Mm-hmm. You've managed to never lose faith. There's a young lady that I follow, her name is Sydney, and one of the things she has a message about marrying your faith to your fortune. So now I've watched you never compromising your faith. Like, you will stand on it. Matter of fact, you've got me together a couple of times. Okay, Chi, that's cute. Don't forget God in the process. Yeah. Right? So
don't play.
No, don't play with them. Don't play with them.
Yeah.
How have you been able to bring your faith to the table and not worry about what other people around you think, because you walk so boldly? And honey, you don't walk to the strip club. By the way, she does the hair of some of our amazing, talented entertainers of Atlanta. Mm-hmm. You've gone in the strip club and ministered to the girls with the girls for the girls.
I sure do.
How do you manage to stay true to who you are in these different environments and not compromise, Jasmine?
It's so funny that you say that, because everybody asks me that. I'm just really me wherever I go. Like, I don't try to put on. I think that's why people like me so much. Like, I am just me, and people adapt to that. Like, for example, my pastor and I are really good friends. And so he has conferences where he has conferences of people that are older and people that are younger. But the older generation, they're like a certain way. You know what I'm saying? As far as, you can't do this, you shouldn't post that. And I told him, I said, hey, you keep asking me and inviting me on these speaking platforms. I love it and I'm going to do it, but I'm also going to be me. I think that the older generations didn't know how to marry a real life with a spiritual life. Mm-hmm. And I told him, I said, I'm going to heaven. Don't worry about that. I'm just going up with a lot of lit stories, because I still have to be myself and enjoy this thing called life. Yes. Like, a lot of older women in the church, they're older and kind of like
stuck in their ways,
mm-hmm. or, they don't experience the fullness and the quality of life that they could, because they're so stuck on only living the spiritual way. Mm-hmm. And I think for me, I have so much balance. Like, they can relate to me. You got to be relatable, and you got to know who you're talking to when you're building an audience. Mm-hmm. So, I can hang with the ratchets, and I can go from the trap house to the White House in the same week. You just tell me who I'm talking to, and I know how to adjust. I thank God for, being raised in the church, going to a Black college, being raised in a neighborhood that was diverse. So I'm able to speak the language of the different people. Mm-hmm. So I don't get caught up in anything. I just be myself, and either you like it or you don't. If I don't feel like it's a good fit, I'm like, oh, girl, that was too much for me. You know what I'm saying?
I love that. So you have revolutionized the culture. And we talk about revolutionizing the culture because of where we come from, because you come from the church world, because you deal with the seasoned saints and the millennials. I love how you said, from the trap house to the White House, Trump, you need us. But from the trap house to the White House, right? To be able to marry it. And revolutionizing culture is being able to be, like you said, relatable and speak to different audiences at all times.
Like, I literally go from the dressing room to the boardroom.
Yes.
Like, I'm in the dressing room. That's where I do hair. If somebody need me to step off and pray, I do that. It ain't like it's a big scene, but they know me. Like, they know what's up.
And when she says dressing room, we're talking about the strip club.
Yeah.
So when she goes from the dressing room with the house mom, getting them together.
Yep.
Right?
To the boardroom and strategizing and planning these next projects with my brand. Like, I really do this,
Oh, really?
And I think people respect the authenticity, but it's so crazy because I used to hide all of this. Like, I was embarrassed to be working at the strip club. I didn't want nobody to know I did hair at the Flame. Like, ooh. Like, I was just like, my brand is just so like pink and girly. It wasn't even until I started showing that and I was putting it on my Snapchat, like me in the dressing room and them on my snaps and doing their hair, and everybody was like, that's lit. You work there. Oh my. I'm like, oh yeah, I got plenty of this. What else y'all want to see? But I hid it for so long, just in my head. Like, you cannot be in your own head without adult supervision.
Okay,
I'm saying, you got to get out of you can't be in your own head without adult supervision. You'll be tainted by your own thoughts and thinking one way, and it's nothing like that. Like, in fact, my platform grew and it got bigger when I showed, like, this is where I work. I'm grinding. All this money that I'm making here, I posted it. I told them, fun fact, All the money I made at the Flame, I used that to move it to my condo downtown. I used that to start my beauty brand. When I was building my shampoos, like I really was trapping, but I wasn't making the kind of money those girls make, nowhere near. But every one that I would see go in that direction, I was working that much harder to try to pull them this way. Like, girl, nothing pays like stripping and selling dope. So get that out of your head. When they try to have these conversations with me or they pay me for one-on-one coaching outside the club, I would tell them, listen, before we go any further, get it out of your mind. Nothing pays like stripping and selling dope as fast as you can make that income. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. Everything can pay like that, but you got to put in more work and brain power. So the deeper off I will see them go is the deeper off I'm going into my brand and building and figuring out how I can do it. So if my homegirl make $1,000 every night, how can I come in here and make $1,000? I'm going to bring my shampoo. I'm going to bring a couple of wigs. I'm going to take my regular clients back here. And I'm literally going to leave with $700 or $800 because I'm going to make sure I push these wigs. I'm going to tell them why they need it. Girl, you need some new hair. The customers is getting bored with that blue, honey. You need to put this pink on. Okay, Jazz. Right. All right. So they go 500. They go 600. Right. All right, I'm going to make this money. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I want other girls to be able to see you do not have to move to Atlanta and start dancing in order to live that life, you know? Right. But people hear with their eyes. So if it looks glamorized and it looks like this is who winning, that's where they're going to go. So I have to boss up and be a leader and still be so posh and classy and let them know I can hang with the ratchets. But I'm going to go from the dressing room to the boardroom and I'm going to show you how you can do it too.
I love that. So I need you all to capture something. She said that she set a goal. That's what you said. I'm just paraphrasing. She set a goal. So she saw one girl dancing, making $1,000 a night. Her mind said, even in her environment, so I need you to catch this, no matter what environment you are in, big or small, ratchet or boardroom, ultimately, you still have to set a goal. And so every night, she didn't go in there blindsided. She went in there with a target. It was $1,000. So her mind said, okay, I need to sell this many wigs. I need to move this shampoo and this product. We're going to talk about that in a moment. I need to move the shampoo. I need to make suggestions. I need to get you on as a coaching client. But she knew that there was a target. So some of you are not setting goals and you're not writing them down, but you're expecting the miraculous to happen. You heard her say faith without works is dead. The works is making the goal. The works is executing upon that goal. The works is, listen, girl, this is what you need, especially if you're in the beauty industry. So let's jump forward because, honey, you got the bundles. Now we're in the beauty on our way to the bubbles. You came up with a shampoo. Now, you didn't have, from what I understood from the beginning, you didn't have some great manufacturer 20,000 miles away over in China. You had, as the woman with the oil did, you had something in your cupboard. How was Jasmine Jackson beauty? Because now, mind you, y'all follow me. We went from the bonnet to the bundles, and now we're in the beauty. So how did the beauty unfold? Because you literally, as some would say, used what was in your kitchen.
I did.
Talk about that. So when the need for it, because I remember you came to me, girl, I got this weave wash. Yes.
So when I started Excellent, and it's so important to attach yourself to a product. Like, you got to sell something. I don't care what kind of job you have. I don't care what kind of company you in. Selling products is like your saving grace. And I actually learned that working at Aveda. Like, the kind of money they was bringing in weekly from selling shampoo and conditioner, like everything that we used on the clients, we would walk them to the front and show them what we used and they would buy all of it. That was like mind blowing to me. Like, dang. So I gotta have a product in my hand. So whatever industry you in, I don't care. She Speaks. We gotta have She Speaks mugs, t-shirts,
we got
pillows, something to attach to the brand to bring in another stream of income. So anyway, I just felt like I had to say that. So with Excellent, I have this old footage. If you want, I can send it to you and you can get it off my YouTube. So like about 10 years ago when I was in college, I used to have a YouTube channel doing fun, easy beauty tips. And my best friend, Eddie Taylor, he was my cameraman back in college. We was like borrowing cameras from the library. We had to sign them out to rent them. And I show in my little bitty sink in my college dorm, dunking my head in the sink and showing them how I would take raw egg and put it in my hair. So one day I was doing Candy's hair and I showed her because she was helping her daughter start her YouTube. And I remember sitting in her shampoo bowl in her basement, beautiful salon in her home. And I was showing her. And she's like, what is this? Because she kept asking about my hair and how it's so healthy, my real hair. And I finally showed her the video. She was like, girl, oh my goodness. Like, why didn't you keep going with this? The next time you come over and do my hair, bring this. So went back to her house a few days later. She already had the egg. She had everything I told her to get. And I mixed it, did the mask on her. And she, out of nowhere, I did not know that she was going to shout me out on her page. Because I curled her hair. Her hair was so pretty, so healthy. And she posted it. And I got my notifications was blowing up. I'll never forget. I was with one of my homegirls from the strip club. She was getting her breast done. And we was in the room. And I'm like, dang, somebody. I said, did you shout me out? Because she got a lot of followers too. She's like, no. And I saw it. I said, girl, why can't he just shouted me out on her page for my excellent? My DM, I probably had like about 300 people in my DMs asking me about this product. Oh, wow. So I had a friend at that time who was a chemist, a cosmetic chemist. I said, girl, you ain't gonna believe this. Like, I'm in the window of opportunity. I got to come up with a product. I can't tell everybody in my DMs how to mix egg with argan. It was just too much. Mm-hmm. So she said, okay. So her and I worked together for like 4 months, and that's how Excellent was birthed. Just like that.
So this was, my goodness. So I've watched you now. And by the way, men, I don't need you to feel left out because our amazing Pastor Marlon McKinney, it's a great beard wash.
Yes.
I actually told my dog, Lady Coco, that I needed to detangle her. So we're going to need to try it out on pets.
I'll give you some.
A little extreme. Mm-hmm. But again, and of course, I wear a lot of wigs. Mm-hmm. And someone asked me the other day, she asked me the other day, she says, girl, how do you keep your wig so vibrant? I said, honey, I dropped them off to my stylist, and she bathes them and maintains them using Excellent. So this is why this wig of 5 years can look so glorious on my hair, because of Excellent.
Yeah.
So you got Excellent, we got the shampoo, we got the conditioner, and then just recently, I show up with my ashy self, and you give me a jar. Matter of fact, I showed up to the conference this year.
Yeah.
But before we get to the skincare, COVID hit.
Yeah.
COVID hit, and the way we do business shifted.
My hair's sticking up.
Okay. The way we do business shifted. And so in the middle of the pandemic, when the strip clubs were closed, I need somebody to catch this because the doors of your income got impacted dramatically.
Yeah.
So here we are, COVID shifted, no money coming in, can't put on no wig, because I was trying it. I was trying to get you to sneak around the corner. I was going to get just dressed in my kitchen. I did it a couple of times successfully.
Yeah.
But life shifted. And you had to think really quickly, how is you going to still pay the bills?
Yeah.
Because first of all, you're an entrepreneur. Unemployment then wasn't even on your radar because it wasn't a thing for you because you're a boss. You work for yourself. So you can't even depend on the programs that are coming. What did you do? Because I really miraculously witnessed a shift. One day we showed up and we put together all these concoctions to build our girl, what you doing? I'm drinking this and this and this. Okay, well, I'm slicing this up. And we slicing this up. And then one day you showed up with a glass jar.
Oh, yeah.
What was in that jar?
Okay, so boom. So everybody know that I'm like health and beauty. Like that's like my thing. Even with me trying network marketing companies, it was a health and wellness company. So I've always been educated about health and wellness. My mom was like, she worked at a health food store my whole life, like when I was like growing up. So I actually was trying to get some sea moss because I was hearing so much about it. But when I saw that it was so hard to get, I'm like, oh, it's something to this. Like, why is this so hard to get my hands on? What's going on here? So I'm going to do my R&D before anything. I'm going to do my research and development. So I was researching it, just looking at all of these different strands of sea moss. And I finally came across a vendor that sold it wholesale. So I invested my money and I bought all this sea moss. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to take this and I'm going to make some and I'm going to sell it. Because if other people are having a hard time finding it, how I even found that vendor, I just felt exclusive. So I ran into a brick wall. I'm going to be honest with you. When I bought it and I was doing more research and looking at all these pages, I realized that the sea moss that I bought was fake. But I had already put my name out there and told people that I had it. So I was real embarrassed. I couldn't even sleep that night. I was through. I know I keep hitting that thing. I'm sorry. I was through. I'm like, oh my goodness, like this is fake. This is like, it's farm raised and then it's wild crafted. So I bought farm raised and I didn't know it has no nutritional value. So I did more research. I dug and dug. So I found another vendor and I brought the old stuff with me. And when I got out the car, he was like, what is that? I'm like, so I told him what happened. Like, I bought this. They were like, no. So after we met and we did the exchange, I was able to, I think I bought like 50 pounds my first time. I just go big. You know, my mind just like, this is going to take off.
Yes.
So I bought it and I started doing my research on actual sea moss and where it comes from. Because I get mine wild crafted from St. Lucia. And I started studying the different strands, like the Euchema and the Shonda's cryptis and the way it's mixed and what, what has what in it, you know what I mean? And what it does for your body. And literally, I posted it, and the sea moss took off because I got in it in a window where everybody needed it. Right. So I don't try to force a sale, but you need to build your immune system. We in the corona.
Exactly.
So literally, that took me just over the top financially because everybody needed sea moss. And I just couldn't believe I found that little window and slid right in there.
I get chills because while everybody else's businesses were closing and people were struggling, looking for, support and trying to figure out creative ways, you saw that window of opportunity and seized it. And I need to hammer that home. When a window opens, windows of opportunities, they only open for such a small time. You have to seize opportunities of a lifetime. You have to seize them in the lifetime that they happen.
Yep.
And you seized it. So you took a down moment and said, "Oh no, not me." And honey, sea moss went crazy. She would walk up and I'm like, "I need 2 bottles," because again, the source that I was ordering it from, I couldn't get it from them because they were sold out. And now we're in the Corona. It's not available, and here you are with a literally jar of golden opportunity.
Yep.
And you turn that into a profit center. So now we had fast forwarded.
Oh, wait. And then when the clubs finally opened back up, oh, baby, that was really my window. I'm like, yeah, I know we back in here. Everybody need to build their immune system. Oh, Jazz, give me a jar. Let me get one for me and my mama. And I'm literally an extra $700 or $800 a night just selling sea moss because I'm like, you need it. Right. And once I started seeing that they was really buying it, I'm like, you probably should get 2. So I'm just like, come on, we got to make this happen.
Yes.
Like, I'm going to take whatever I got and I'm going to capitalize on it. Like, I got to flip this. We in the window of opportunity.
With like the one with oil, you took it. And now it continues to overflow.
It was in my house.
It was in your house.
Yep.
She took what was in her house. What she ain't telling y'all is she also went to the U of the 2. Because folks are like, well, how did she figure it out? She literally invested time and energy. She didn't use the downtime. Some of us just didn't maximize what this moment has been for us.
Yeah.
But you added and you increased. Mm-hmm. And now, let's get to the ashy skin.
Yeah.
So she done got us all healthy.
Yeah.
With the 91 minerals in earth.
92.
92. Mm-hmm. I learned something. All I know is that I'm putting it in my tea. My girlfriend messing the bottle that made a cup, so now we're slicing up garlic. So now we got garlic, we got turmeric, we got ginger, and we got sea moss. I won't even drink my tea now unless I have my sea moss. You asked me the other day, I was like, I had no tea in a week because I had no sea moss. So,
and Dr. Sabi approves.
Yes. Sea moss is that truth.
Yes.
So then you said, wait a minute. Mm-hmm. On top of this, there's another shift happening. Mm-hmm. She got us together with the ashy skin. Now I say ashy because right now the seasons are changing. You need more moisture. Mm-hmm. Beauty is totality, right? So while I'm over here getting beat to death with wood therapy, you over here in there beating some stuff together in the kitchen. That smell like cake batter.
Okay, so boom. This quarantine was really good for me, especially if you were creative and you didn't capitalize on this, that's on you. So the whole quarantine, I was making body butters and sugar scrubs for myself because self-care is like so important to me. Yes. And I really couldn't do nothing. I couldn't go nowhere. We couldn't get we couldn't do nothing. So I had to do something. I had to do something to make myself feel pretty, and I had to do something to make myself feel good. So, yes. And as a stylist and beauty field, we just know how to do everything anyway. So I started making these body butters and these sugar scrubs, and I started giving them to like my friends and family, and they were so gone off of them. I'm like, y'all really like things like that? Like, I mean, I know they're good, but I use it every day, so I'm used to it. Yes. Everybody like, Jazz, oh my God, this smells so good. My skin is so smooth. Okay, I got y'all.
Yes. And as a result, we have 3 more, honey, this is what we're talking about, building to billions. Now there are 3 more products on the shelf. So we got the bonnets, we got the bundles, we've got the beauty, right? So again, boom. And now we've got bubbles. Yeah. We got, wait a minute. I'm probably saying that right. It's mint-it. We got the lemon scrub. Lemon Supreme. And then we got cake batter. Yeah. And when I say a little goes a long way, so this weekend, you launched in a big way. Yeah. What's pivotal to understand is you have to launch. And you have to do it in a big way.
Or you can't do it at all.
Or don't do it at all.
Not in Atlanta.
No. Right. But period. Because you want the world to know. Here's the thing. There's a lot of people out here who make body butters. Yeah. There's a lot of people out here who make sea moss. But I need to encourage somebody today to understand that what's for you is for you. Yeah.
And people don't buy products. People buy experiences.
And you.
Yeah.
They buy you.
Yeah.
They buy the experience. They buy you. We got the pop and glowing skin. Yep. We got the natural hair blended in with the 44s. Did I say that right?
It's 30.
Okay, close enough. We got all of this happening, but we got a bank account that's also building. Yep. Right? We got upgrades that are happening in our lives. Yep. And here's the thing I need you to understand. Just because it looks great doesn't mean we still don't have adversity. Yep. Because life will still come. But there's this thing that you got on called glow and focus. I call it glow and focus.
I love that.
So what I love about you is that come hell and high water came, and you still went swimming.
Yeah.
And you came out on top of it. So my goodness, 3 new products.
Yep. So Saturday was my birthday, and launches are already real special to me, and so are birthdays. I'm like a big celebratory birthday person.
Libra season, y'all. Libra season. We still celebrate.
If you didn't know,
yes.
But I like to launch products on my birthday because I feel like that's the time when you get people's attention the most, and they just like whatever you say, we do. It's your birthday.
Yes.
So I like to attach it to my products. So this past weekend, Saturday was my birthday, and I launched 3 products. I launched 3 sugar scrubs and with 3 body butters to go with it. So the 3 scents are cake batter. It smells just like a cake. They're going to want to eat you up. So I launched cake batter, lemon supreme. It's with lemongrass and it's like all natural essential oils. Mm-hmm. And then we have wait a minted because it's mint, but it has like a hint of orange. And when you smell it, it's like, wait a minute. You can smell the mint and then you catch that orange in the back of it. So I worked really hard on these products. I worked really hard on the scents, the way I formulate them. And, you know, I'm just now building a team, but I do all of this stuff on my own because I know how I want to see it. I know how I want it to feel down to my labels, the packaging. See, Chi got it when it was like a tester still. The bottle, it was cute, but I just was getting it out there. So this weekend was like, this is Jasmine Jackson Beauty. Yes. From the labels to the way it looked, to the way it feels, to the smells, to the experience. Yes. Yep. So I did beauty and bubbly.
We walked in the room and she had bubbles falling from the sky, right? You had your signature drinks that matched it, right?
And my drink smoked.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
But it was all about the experience. Mm-hmm. And for those of you who are entrepreneurs, I don't care what you sell. I don't care what product you offer or what service you offer. If you don't put energy into the experience, people are not going to gravitate toward it.
They not.
I want to know that when I walk into a building, all the details have been thought of. Yeah. Right? Like, I love one of my stylists because anytime we go to her or we go to her, honey, she creates an experience.
It's the experience.
When I came into Jasmine Jackson's Beauty launch, it was like, oh my God, I just walked into heaven. Because she took what was in her house converted it into a spa experience. Put it down to the road, that hit the floor, the everything. Mm-hmm. You got to create an experience. If you want to be profitable in business, you have to create experience. That's what sets you apart. So people say, what sets you apart? You. Yep. You set you apart.
Even down to, it was in my condo, but we moved all of my stuff out, and the designer, the event planner, put all of the stuff in. Like, so it did not even look like my home. Down to in my hallway, walking up to my door, she had a big old long pink carpet. Like, you knew where you were going.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, Jasmine.
What's up?
What's next? I mean, like, you are literally, you have taken adversity. Mm-hmm. Like, this is why I wanted to paint this whole picture, because I needed people to see this evolution to building this $1 billion brand. Mm-hmm. You didn't have 60 million followers. Mm-mm. You didn't have, find a celebrity to shout you out. Mm-mm. You had roll up your sleeves, grassroots, wrap the bonnet up, get in the kitchen, whip it up, and then you execute it. Yeah. So my goodness, I'm out here and I'm watching tonight, and I need some advice and wisdom. Okay. Right? I want to revolutionize the culture of my family, because you didn't just revolutionize the culture, but you just shifted a movement for your children's children. Oh, yes. Right? And you're building something that when the Princess Jazz is born, yes, she's going to be able to know that my mama did the Madam C.J. Walker from the heart of her home. Yep. So what's next? What can you tell me? Because, dang, I need to go get it. So what do I do now? What do I do now?
So that's a 2-part.
I know.
So I really just want people to understand that everything big was once small. Yes. Like, if I show you like pictures from my previous launches, you'll see the growth and elevation. Mm-hmm. Like, I had one launch party where I didn't even have the labels yet for the products, but I still launched it because I already set the date. People were coming and I had to execute.
You stayed committed to what you said.
I stayed committed, and I just kind of finessed it, and I was just like, the labels are coming. This is exclusive. Y'all the first to get it. I did what I had to do. Yeah. And I think that people ignore that part. Like, you have to have some type of finesse and some type of, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, you have to just know how to sell yourself. And when I say finesse, I don't mean finesse people, because when you try to finesse people, people get hip to that and they don't want to deal with you.
It's a wrap.
I mean finesse in the sense of, you have to make it fit with what you're doing so that you can explain it to people. Like, I didn't have labels, so I had to say that it was exclusive. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You're the first one to get it. Oh, okay. They were no longer looking for the label. Like, get past the excuses.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And
it wasn't perfect.
It wasn't perfect.
Stop waiting until everything is perfect.
Or you'll be waiting forever.
Yeah, good luck. That's like waiting for the perfect man to come along. Skeleton meme.
You being funny?
No.
So, what's next? First, I'm so excited. On November 1st, I am re-releasing Excellent with another collection of products with it. So we have our Excellent coming back November 1st.
Yes.
We have our Weave Wash. I just added a clarifying shampoo, and I have an amazing serum. And all of those, they'll be here this month, but I'm launching it. Champagne and shampoo is on November 1st, and it's going to be so lit.
Champagne, shampoo, oh my God, November 1st,
yeah.
11-1. Those are 3
111. Those are my angel numbers. They follow me, so I had to do it on that day.
I love it.
Yeah.
Again, set a date, set a goal, execute upon it. Don't let your past be the reason why you don't move forward in your present, right? And you've proven that.
Yeah.
Revolutionize the culture in your home before you try to shift the world, right? You've done that.
Yeah.
I salute you. Give our viewers some wisdom, some advice. Take it on home, Jasmine Jackson.
I think the biggest thing is just being yourself. Like, if you try to be anybody else, it's not going to come off right. Because I know I've been through seasons in my business where I would see other girls and the way they do it, and I would try to adopt that, and it just don't work for me. And eventually you slip out of that, and you always convert back to who you are. So you have to be yourself, and you also have to believe in your idea. And when you create these experiences, do it on the level that you can do it on. Because if you don't try to stress yourself out and do it the way Coach Chi does it with this big room we in with this production, there's cameras everywhere, it's lights, it's the sound people, I'm mic'd up. But if you can't do it to this level, congratulate Chi and do it in your home. Go invest in you a cute little diva light and talk into your phone until times get better and you can invest in this big studio with her logo everywhere, live studio audience. You know what I mean? And it's okay. Start with where you are. Everything big was once small. I've been in her kitchen with her diva light doing lives. So I'm telling you, times get better. You're going to have exponential growth, but the only way to get it is to just start somewhere. I was making my products myself in my kitchen. The chemist that I had in the beginning, she dropped me 2 months later. After she picked me up, she dropped me. She told me she couldn't formulate for me no more. I thought I was going to lose it. And so I bought my formula from her. I spent thousands and thousands of dollars that I had to come up with to pay her for my formula that I created. But I didn't know everything back then. It's the thing, but you got to know your paperwork. That's for another day. So I started making it myself, and I was still executing it and still doing it. So now I'm so thankful that times have gotten better. And now the new team of chemists that I'm working with this product is like, I've never been happier. Like, I've never been more confident in my products in my life. Like, November 1st is lit.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So you just got to execute on your level, but still create an experience and go as big as you can in reason. So if all I have is this in the palm of my hands, you better believe I'm going to do all kind of stuff to make this palm look larger than life. You know, you just got to start somewhere.
Wow.
And don't be afraid to pull on your resources. So if you don't have a big budget to create, then if you have to mom and pop it and barter with your friends and let your sister cook the food and let your brother be security and let your cousins be your models that are going to hype you up and let your other cousin be the cameraman. You got to grassroot it until you can get it out there and go big.
But the key is to launch.
You got to launch.
You got to launch. And even Cardi B said that. I'm going to leave you all with some notes to go home tonight and some nuggets just to bring it home, because Jasmine gave you a wealth of jewels. If you didn't catch it, you missed it, right? Understand that collaboration is the new key of currency in the marketplace.
Yes.
And again, if you want to go global, lock arms with some people that are going in the same direction that you're going, right? But at the same time, understand that you can't take everybody with you, and that's okay, right? More importantly, you understand that you have to be able to adjust. A lot of people didn't make it through quarantine and COVID and the pandemic because they were not in the position mentally, they had not developed themselves like you have, to adjust to real-time events. Yeah. There's nothing perfect happening. Life, we all know, is always going to happen. Yeah. It's how we respond to it. More importantly, understand that how you respond means everything. Execution equates to manifestation. Let me say that again. Execution equates to manifestation. And last but not least, do not get left holding yesterday's toolkits. When we talk about revolutionizing, you talked about the older generations versus the new generations.
Yes.
It is safe to say that what worked yesterday only served as a guideline for where we're going tomorrow.
Exactly.
Technology has changed. We don't write letters anymore. We send emails. Matter of fact, we're down to 160 characters. Some of us still send books in text messages. But you cannot.
How about we voice record?
Oh, we voice record, right? Yes, right. And we got letter abbreviations. Everything is 3 letters or 5 letters or 6 letters, and we created our own alphabet.
Yeah.
Right. But you cannot get stuck holding yesterday's toolkits, right? Again, Madam C.J. Walker did it her way.
Yep.
But Jasmine Jackson did it her way.
Yep.
And it's still $1 billion brand in the building.
Exactly.
Right? So again, rethink where you're going. Rethink your goals. Write it down. Write the vision and make it plain.
Yes.
Jasmine, I want to say thank you so much for joining us on She Speaks TV.
Thank you for
being
having
the
me.
glorious queen that you are.
Thank you.
And I'm glad to say that the billionaire was here first. So with that being said, guys, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. We will see you as always at the top because the bottom is just too crowded. Goodbye, everybody.
Yeah.